Imagine not being able to read the paper because your hands were shaking. Imagine not being able to read newsprint as your world faded to black. The National Federation of the Blind, Newsline, Indiana. With your host, Lee Martin, and co-host, Florence Myers-McSwine.
Good morning and welcome to this week's National Federation of the Blind, Newsline, Indiana. I am your co-host, Florence Myers-McSwine. And of course, we have your host, Mr. Lee Martin. And we thank you so much for joining us today. And Lee, how are you doing today?
Well, Florence, I'm just doing fantastic. And I just can't wait to get into our interview with our guest today. And I'm sure that everyone will leave again with a lot of great information, as this is a very resourceful individual that we have, and she has so much to offer. And our guest today is Miss Latrice Jeter, and she brings so much information to us. I just don't even know where to start, Florence.
Yeah, well, she's going to bring us a lot of information. It's timely information. It's a lot going on in this time of year, seasonal. So we're going to talk with Miss Latrice Jeter in just a moment, and she's going to talk about the business that she has and how it may help a lot of people right now. Lee?
Okay, well, we're going to first start off talking about the National Federation of the Blind Newsline. The National Federation of the Blind Newsline has a service that we feel is great for individuals that are eligible for the service. Individuals who qualify for this particular audio information service, which is free, and which is also, we're sponsored through the Indiana State Library. And we want citizens that are blind, those that are visually impaired, those that have print challenges, as you have seen at the top of our show, that are eligible for this free audio information service to have access and learn how you can get this free access and learn a little bit about the service. Write down the numbers and get in touch with us, and you can reach out to us anytime, and we will get back in touch with you regarding this great service. Now, what is this great service? It is a service where individuals can read newspapers, magazines, TV guide listings, job listings, international publications, national publications, and I could go on and on and on. There's over 500 different publications that are free. And Florence, let's inform our listeners and viewing audience on how they can access this with the different devices.
Sure, I love to do that, Lee. There's various ways we can access the free audio information service. The first way is the digital player from the Talking Book and Braille Library. Another way to access the service is through your computer, your home phone, or your Android, as well as the Victor Reader Stream. I love using my iPhone because it has an app. And along with that app comes the NFBN Reader, which allows me to read my mail and my documents independently. So I love NFB Newsline, and it is a great tool, and it's right there at my fingertips.
Well, I tell you, Florence, it is a great service. And once again, it is so easy to use. And once you sign up for the service, you'll receive a security code and ID number, and also a local toll-free telephone number or a local number that you can call in to the service, or if you're using the app, which is very accessible and usable. We just highly recommend this service. Many people across the state of Indiana, as well as across the country, have enjoyed this service. Just to know that being blind, you can have access to all these different publications, and informed citizens make informed decisions. So please, give us a call, Enjoy the show, and we'll be right back with our guest, Miss Latrice Jeter.
Thousands of Indiana residents feel isolated from the world due to vision problems. Thanks to the National Federation of the Blind, visually impaired Hoosiers can hear newspapers, circulars, and magazines from across the globe.
I'm a Vietnam veteran. I'm blind. I read Stars and Stripes on NFB Newsline.
Learn more by calling 855-963-6476 or visit nfbnewsline-in.org.
Subscribe free to NFB Newsline.
I am a blind vendor, and one of the things that I truly miss is reading Vending Times magazine.
Hoosiers can hear Indiana magazines, circulars, national magazines, and information from across the globe. Learn more by calling 855-963-6476 or visit nfbnewsline-in.org.
It is a fantastic service.
Subscribe free to NFB Newsline today. Welcome you back to the National Federation of the Blind Newsline Indiana show. As we stated, we do have a fabulous guest today, and I have so much respect for this young lady. Her name is Latrice Jeter. And Latrice, welcome to the show once again.
Thank you.
A lot has changed since you were last on the show in 2019, and we are here to gather a lot of information. But first, before we find out about the business that you founded and the success of it, we want to learn a little bit about your upbringing. Recently in the state of Indiana, it's the National Federation of the Blind and a collection of advocates with disabilities had the legislation passed for parental rights for people with disabilities. This was a monumental passage for people with disabilities and the right to raise children without a lot of interference and a lot of negativity and a lot of the preconceived notions that people with disabilities and people that are blind could not raise children safely nor successfully. So today we have a live living experience here to share with you all with Latrice. She was raised by blind parents. And Latrice, tell us a little bit about your parents, Ron and Jean Brown.
Well, first off, they're amazing. And I can't imagine having two different parents than them. I wouldn't want them. So, very successful entrepreneurs, the most supportive, loving, nurturing parents I could have asked for. They're just amazing, two amazing individuals.
And Latrice, now, did you grow up here in the city of Indianapolis?
No, I actually was born and raised in Gary, Indiana. And then we relocated to Indianapolis when I was in the 5th grade. My dad started a business here, a vending business. And so he moved the family from Gary to Indianapolis, and they've been here since. I went back to Gary for high school years. I stayed here through elementary, junior high, and then I went back there. And then, of course, as soon as I graduated, I came right back to Indianapolis to be with my mom and dad again.
Okay, now with your parents, though, Latrice, being blind, and you're growing up in school, high school, and things like that, I'm sure there were a lot of questions or some questions that were addressed to you and giving you a chance to educate other people on blindness.
Sure. So you're commonly asked your whole life when you say both of my parents are blind, how did they raise you? I mean, just immediately people want to know, did your parents actually raise you? Did you get to live at home? And the best answer I can give them is I was raised like anyone else. There are a few differences, little things like you tend to, well, we did, me and my sister, we read at earlier ages. So my mom would just post letters, around the house, flashcards to teach me. She actually would tape things on everything around the house, which I think is kind of common with teaching kids to read, cabinet said cabinet, door said door, things like that. And she would just have me spell things out to her. Once I learned the alphabet, I would just spell it out and she'd tell me what the word was. And so I was reading at a very young age, reading the Bible, reading books. And then you grow up helping with additional responsibilities that didn't feel like responsibilities at all, sitting down, helping to go through mail and read through that stuff, writing out checks and helping to pay the bills, not financially, obviously, but just write the checks out and things like that. And so it kind of gives you a glimpse into household finances and being responsible and paying bills on time. So little things like that, colors. She taught me colors through clothes, through socks. We would sit down and have a big pile of socks and she had me match them up. And so everything was, I was raised the same. I remember sitting in the kitchen with my mom pressing my hair with the hot comb. She was not burning me. I don't know how she did that, but she did it. We had pigtails, braids, everything. So there really were no differences. I did love going to the store with my mom. Sometimes my grandma or aunt, would take her. And sometimes we catch a cab or a taxi to the store. And I got to read all the things at the store to her, help her pick out her favorites at the grocery. And then when we would get home, she made it more of a game or a fun time, helping her to create the labels that she was going to put on the canned goods and the box goods and things like that. She loves to cook, and so she taught us to cook. I can't think of many differences. I don't know what it's like to be raised without blind parents, but I would think that it was very much the same. I had a lot of friends that would come over, stay the night, stay weekends, and they just absolutely loved and adored my parents too. So
I bet. And you know what? I'm listening to you telling us all this, and it sounds like it was getting you ready for your business that we're going to talk about today. I mean, everything kind of just comes together, because you're very innovative in what you do, and I'm just kind of blown away because I know exactly where you're coming from with this,
And Latrice, what I wanted to ask you as well, as most people have phobias about blind parenting or parents with disabilities, did you ever ask this question? Because this is one of the questions that goes through our legislators' minds, some people's minds, about the safety and nurturing. Did you feel like it was any times that you were just so unsafe or unsecure because your parents were blind?
absolutely not. My mom and dad had me hold their hand just like anyone would have a child hold their hand when, we're out and about. When we would be sitting in places, just a touch on the leg, a touch on the arm. Hey, Latrice, they were constantly, I think you may tend to communicate obviously a lot more when you're visually impaired. And so constant communication, just talking to us, just teaching us the importance and dangers like any other parent would. The stove is hot, don't touch it. So things like that. They just did the same thing any parent would do. You can kind of hear a little toddler's feet, I'm sure, coming across the kitchen floor to say, wait, stop, don't touch that.
Well,
there were no safety obstacles or safety concerns. I was never put in danger at all. No.
Well, I tell you, that is so great to know, because most people just don't know. And that's what we're here for, to educate people, because your dad, Ron Brown, he's a orientation and mobility instructor for the blind, and he just travels all over the country and teach individuals, children, adults, seniors, everyone, on how to navigate the world. And I tell you, it is so nice. And before I get off this portion of this segment here, I just want to say I do love Gene Brown's fried chicken. And, and I know you guys have had some good fried chicken anyway.
And you know what, Lee, we can't leave out what Jean does. We have to talk about a little bit about that book.
Oh, she is an author.
She is an author.
Yeah. And,
yes, she is.
A great book out there that she has. And we'll run that across the screen so people can check out the book and get in touch with us, and we can let you know where to order the book from. Amazon, I think you can go in there and get it. So we'll be right back with the professional side of Ms. Latrice Jeter. Stay tuned.
Bro, this new Travis Scott song is so lit, straight up.
Yeah, it's fire.
Yo, let me get started on all this craziness. Like he tryna die, but better switch it up quick. Let me teach a lesson, teacher in the building. Get ready for class, cause you about to get to school. And rule number 1, look before you cross the street. Look left, right, left again before you move your feet. Rule number 2, hold up, I'm talking to you. Put everything down, you don't end up on the news. Rule number 3 is don't run. No driver is trying to hit a child, none. Rule number 4, while crossing the street, smile and wave. If not, you might end up on your feet. Remember, kids, it's lit to not get hit. Don't follow these rules and your life might end.
We are the nation's blind, and we read NFB Newsline.
As I travel the nation, I read NFB Newsline.
I live in Valparaiso, Indiana, and I listen to my local news on NFB Newsline.
As a student, I enjoy reading current events on NFB Newsline.
Learn more by calling 855-963-6476 or visit nfbnewsline-in.org.
Subscribe free to NFB Newsline today.
The National Federation of the Blind knows that blindness is not the characteristic that defines you or your future. Every day we raise the expectations of blind people because low expectations create obstacles between blind people and our dreams. You can live the life you want. Blindness is not what holds you back.
Welcome back to this segment of the National Federation of the Blind Newsline, Indiana. And we're speaking with Ms. Latrice Jeter, founder of Simplified Insurance Solutions. And Latrice, tell us about your business.
Thank you. So I founded the insurance brokerage back in 2018, and that was after having worked as a vice president for business development with one of the largest national insurance brokerages in the country. And when I resigned a couple years prior, I decided to walk away, for one, because it was a lot of travel, a whole lot of travel. I was just beyond 10 years with that company. And while I greatly enjoyed my time there and who I worked with, it was a call center environment. And I just decided I wanted to get back out into our local community, which is why I first got into the insurance industry close to 20 years ago. I started out as an insurance agent for individual, and small group, small employer coverage lines of business and some ancillary products. And so I learned Medicare over the years and decided I just really wanted to get back out into the community and make a difference and go back into the business-to-business aspects of it, working with clients. I also had growing concern about just the call center environment overall when it comes to seniors and those with disabilities, which is the Medicare service market, because you're just kind of shuffled through. There's high turnover. Lots of questions may or may not get answered correctly. As call centers grow and expand, you're talking about hundreds of people sitting on the phone talking about one of the most important decisions that people can possibly make. And so they're not as adept with servicing their clients as, of course, an agent or an insurance broker would be, who's working with them one-on-one and out in the field, as we call it, which is just out in the community.
Okay, now Latrice, now tell me, with this insurance coverage, who is eligible for this supplemental insurance coverage? Now you're speaking right now. You said seniors, but tell us what makes a person eligible for these coverage.
For Medicare, so to qualify for Medicare, and that's original Medicare Part A and B, you must be either 65 years or older. The other way to qualify is to have either end-stage renal disease, which is kidney failure requiring dialysis, and or Lou Gehrig's disease. And then the third way is once you have received Social Security disability income for a period of 2 years, so 24 months in, you're just automatically eligible for Medicare Part A and B as well. And so that's Part A and B, which is hospital and outpatient services. And then there's Medicare Part C, which is Medicare Advantage plans. And the only eligibility requirement for a Medicare Advantage plan is to have original Medicare Part A and B. And the final and fourth part of original Medicare is known as Part D, or prescription drug plans. And in order to become eligible for a prescription drug plan, again, you just need to have original Medicare, either Part A and or Part B, and then you can get a prescription drug plan as well. So that's the eligibility requirements. A lot of those that have Medicare also have Medicaid, so not to be confused, through the state. And that is additional coverage that is based on income levels. And there's some gray areas to that and other requirements and disabilities that may qualify someone for Medicaid as well through the state. And so you can also have both Medicare and Medicaid also.
I think it's very important that people that qualify for these Medicare and Medicaid know that you don't have to be a senior to be impacted with health issues and the qualifications. So for those individuals that feel like I'm ill, I'm here at the age of 25 or 30, what would you say to those individuals so that they can address their health and medical needs?
I would say that if you have any questions about if you qualify for Medicaid, to just call into the state, and you can fill out the application over the phone. You can also go online nowadays and fill out the application. They make the process very easy. It's a very simple application. It does not take a lot of time to fill it out. And then they'll come back to you in a very short amount of time and just let you know if you qualify for Medicaid or not. Again, as far as qualifying for Medicare, once you are receiving Social Security disability income for 2 years, you're just automatically enrolled into Medicare. So that's a nice feature of that, is that they just auto-enroll people in case they don't know that they qualify.
Okay, now Latrice, now is there a certain time of year, open season or enrollment period that people can actually enroll in this program?
There is. As far as Medicare, original Medicare, there is no enrollment period. It's just once you qualify, you're eligible to enroll in original Medicare Part A and B. For Medicare Advantage plans, which is original Medicare Part C, and by the way, that just offers additional coverage in addition to original Medicare Part A and B. It must offer at least, or cover, I should say, at least what original Medicare covers by law. And so you're not losing anything by obtaining a Medicare Advantage plan. And those are the ones we commonly see a lot of commercials about this time of year, with zero or low premiums that offer additional benefits. The enrollment periods for Part C, or a Medicare Advantage plan, we're in the annual election period today. and that runs October 15th through December 7th. And that's a period where anyone can enroll who has Medicare Part A and B into a Medicare Advantage plan, Part C, and obtain those additional benefits. Outside of that, just following is open enrollment period, which runs from January 1st through March 31st. And that's specific to those who have already in place a Medicare Advantage plan. That's the time frame where they can drop their Medicare Advantage plan and go back to just original Medicare, or they can, of course, choose a different Medicare Advantage plan. So it gives them an additional 3 months to make changes to their plan. And then outside of those periods, we have what are called special election periods throughout the year for Medicare Advantage. And that is when, if you end up in a, institutionalized or anything like that, any major life event pretty much will qualify you for a special enrollment period where you get to change plans if needed, or, switch out or pick up a Medicare Advantage plan even for the first time. So there's different reasons throughout the year why you can enroll, but this one is that we're in right now, annual election period, October 15th to December 7th, is the largest enrollment season that we have with Medicare Advantage. The other type of supplement to Medicare is a Medicare supplement plan, and those plans you can enroll in year-round. So it's just annual.
We're running out of time, and I tell you, it is so interesting what you're sharing with us. Could you give us your phone number, and we'll also run that across the screen?
Sure. So my office number is 888-340-7633. And if someone wants to call me directly, my personal cell phone number is 317-213-1091. And so any questions that I can help with, or just any assistance, me and my team would love to help out.
Latrice, we want to thank you so very much for joining us on today and sharing so much information with us and our viewing and listening audience. We look forward to having you back sometime soon. So thank you once again, Latrice.
Thank you so much, Lee and Florence. I appreciate you welcoming me back to be on the show again. Thank you.
Okay, and we'll look for you to come back real soon.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
All right. Take good care. And listening audience and viewing audience, thank you once again. We'll see you next week.
The National Federation of the Blind, Newsline, Indiana. For more information, go to nfb-in.org or call 855-963-6476. That's 855-963-6476. The National Federation of the Blind encourages you to live the life you want.